Hey guys, it's Matt Haycox, and I'm here with my very good friend JP De Villiers, who you will have seen time and time again on my Insta, on my YouTube, and my social. This is actually the third time that JP's interviewing me. The previous two videos we've done have been some of my most popular. So I know we're going to be talking about networking. That's about all I know. So he's probably going to ambush me, put me on the spot, but he always gets the best content out of me and others. So I'm sure you guys are going to find this informative and fun, and I'm looking forward to chatting to him. So I hope you enjoy this interview as much as I know I'm going to do.
Matt, thanks so much for being here, man.
No, thanks for coming, buddy. It's always great to spend time with you.
I'm actually in Spain as one of Matt's guests. He runs these annual kind of, I don't want to say networking is not the right word, connection events where
a summer retreat
where you do personal and professional connections and you create stuff together. And it's been just amazing being here again. I was invited last year. I'm honored to be here again. My wife is here this time. We're so blessed and grateful to be here. And there's so much watching you and observing you, like I said to you before. There's a lot that I learn from you. The more time I spend with you, like anyone really, I'm able to pick out little things. And one thing I've learned, and the reason why I asked you to have this conversation is you take networking and connecting with people and building new relationships very seriously. And yesterday I was thinking, what do I really want to ask Matt? And because when I was 35 years old, on reflecting on my life, I realized that the most important thing in my life has been choosing the right people around me, connecting and stuff. So I wanted to ask you, is this something that you just do unconsciously? Is there no strategy? Or, is there not a specific strategy? Or is this something that you take very seriously, that almost you depend on for you to be in constant upward momentum in your business?
Well, I think, you've asked me kind of two or three questions in one there. So I guess the multiple answers would be, like anything in life, the more you do it subconsciously. So I guess maybe compared to someone who doesn't network as seriously or regularly, I may appear to be doing things subconsciously, and undoubtedly, I guess I am. But there's the thing for me that I guess is most thought out is the people that I actually want to do the networking with and that I want to do the connecting with. I mean, a lot of the time people ask me the question of, how do you build the great relationships? How do you talk to these people, or how do you get on with people, who may be a dick? What are your kind of techniques for speaking to people? That I'd say is something that's maybe more subconscious and maybe more personal to me. But the actual planned out act of networking, the actual focus on identifying who the targets are that I want to build time with, then that's completely premeditated. I guess what can't be planned is how deep the relationships are ever going to get with people. But I think what certainly can be planned by everyone is certainly very much planned by me is who are the people that I want to do that networking with. Who are the people that I know can better my business, can better my life, can bring improvement. And whilst I think one thing I'm always keen to stress is whilst I'll always set out with that intention, at the end of the day, a genuine mate is a genuine mate. And I think it's very important not to blur the lines of business and personal. By that, I don't mean not mixing business with pleasure. Obviously, that's what we're doing here, and I think mixing business and pleasure is the ultimate way to build strong bonds, to build the relationships, and to get out of what you want. But I think in today's world, and particularly with the people that I would want to build my network with, the people who are intelligent and sophisticated, anyone's going to see through the fact that you're pretending to be, you're pretending to be mates if you're really not. So yes, I always like to get people in these social settings. I always know that's going to bring a deeper connection and give more time with these people, to be able to build bonds, do deals. But ultimately, I would never pretend to be mates with someone that I'm not. Sometimes people just can't build rapport. and there's no magic answer to how to do it with everybody. In the same way that you can't close every customer, that you can't sell every person on a product that you don't want to buy, or that they don't want to buy, rather. Sometimes people just can't connect.
This already so valuable what you're sharing. Yesterday we went for a walk over the mountain. Well, it's a hill, but really felt like a mountain. And we were talking about this yesterday, and you were saying that, actually, let me go back. You're an investor. Mm-hmm. And really everything that you just shared is you're investing. And like you shared with me yesterday, some of these investments turn into great friends. Some of them turn into business partners or business associates, or they might link you to someone else that becomes a great friend or a business associate. I have now been, as I said before, here twice, actually 3 times, if I think of your gala dinner, in these environments where I get to connect with your people. And with the people that I've connected with, and some of us have become really good friends, we've all said to each other that you have a knack, a very good skill at putting the right people together. To everyone watching and listening, I would love to ask you, and for me, like, how do you do that? Like it's not just, you know what I mean? I'm not flattering you. People agree that you are very good at putting good people together. Is it intuition?
I think it's probably a combination of 2 things. I mean, look, when I put people together, I want to put people together who are who are going to benefit each other. Let's say from some kind of business or personal development perspective. That's let's say the higher level business goal or the formal goal. But I kind of think that the reason that everybody always gets on with each other is probably because they were my connections or my friends in the first place. And I guess if you like me, the chances are you're going to like the people that I'm associating with, because if they were a dick, then I probably wouldn't want to be with them anyway, in which case I wouldn't put them in front of you. So, I mean, maybe that answer's a lot less sophisticated than you were probably expecting, or now I've actually, I mean, I'd never thought of that before because I'd never really been asked that question. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a magic trick. We are, the people we surround ourselves with, probably mirror our personalities, in some way, shape or form. Look, we're not carbon copies in life. There'll always be I like a laugh and a joke, as we know, and I probably, have more laughs and more jokes and more pranks than most. But no one in my circle has no sense of humour. Otherwise they probably wouldn't be in my circle in the first place. They may not be as jokey about things as I am. They may not share my exact same sense of humour, but they are someone who's going to appreciate some degree of joke, if that makes sense.
I'm glad I asked that question, because it's not actually so much, although I'm sure there is an element of it, but it's not so much a ROI of bringing someone in. It's more, would I have a drink with this person? And then if there's a connection in business and you're thinking, I would have a drink with this person, meaning I like them, they inspire me, they give me energy.
I think it's both. And I was talking about this with someone the other day, that when I network, I would do what I call general networking and focus networking. So to put it into context, let's talk in terms of what do I normally look to get from networking. A lot of the time, I'm looking to meet high net worth individuals, ultra high net worth individuals. People that will be able to invest in a lot of the projects that I'm creating. So, I guess when I'm going out looking for people, I look on 2 bases. One is targeted individuals. So I know of Mr. Smith, who is somebody that I think I could benefit from building a relationship with, and I would individually target that person. Obviously, when I'm targeting him, we don't know each other at that point, so I'm not going to be just randomly saying, "Hey, Mr. Smith, do you fancy a drink?" Because he's not going to probably accept that connection. But I would, and it's probably part 2 of this conversation, will be how do I then target those. So once I've decided who I want to target, how do I then get in front of them, and how do I then get to build those connections? And then secondly, is the fact that I would then do some general networking as well. Now, what would general networking be for me? It would just be being around high caliber people from different walks of life that I'm going to enjoy spending time with, that will rub off in some way, shape, or form. And I put you very much in that category, that there's not one specific transactional thing that you and I have done, but having you around me has definitely been a betterment to my life. Okay, like if we drill it down here, we can talk about mindset, we can talk about fitness, those kind of things. But you've just been a great influence. Maybe not in a very specifically. I can put my finger on that or pinpoint that, but I know that my life is better with you than without it.
And even the people around you, to be able to create ripples with the people around you, and take David running up the hill and stuff like that. So there's many different ways to look at it.
I think it's having those two different focuses, if you like. That one, these are the people that I specifically need to get a very focused and very tangible ROI out of, and these are the people that I want in my life that are going to make me enjoy my life better, that are going to bring something to my life. Add value. I can't tell you how much value they're going to add, and I can't tell you at what stage that firework's going to go off for something for something incredible. Maybe never, but it's better to have them in my proximity.
Great answer, dude. Thank you so much. And I'd love to go into what you just shared before, the strategy behind how you do it.
Well, happy to do it now if you.
But because of time, obviously we got to go. We have a table waiting for us. I'd like to ask you a different question, slightly different. In terms of strategy for high net worth individuals like yourself, I've seen it, right? How do you do this? How do you network? How do you connect with the right people? Simply hold events, summer summits. We went skiing last year. You do charity balls, dinners, all that stuff. To the average person, the theme of this conversation is it's important to network, connect with the right people, make sure you're making new connections, building relationships, nurturing old ones. What strategy would you say, or a few tips could you share about finding and connecting with the right people? I don't want to say the word networking because it is about relationships.
So I was asked this recently, and I guess it was one of the first times that I actually tried to almost put it into a formula or a strategy. But I think for me, the key thing is networking gets a bad name. And a lot of people don't want to do it, and a lot of people pull a face at having to do it. And I think the reason being is because they are networking with the wrong people. If you look at our situation now, where we're here in the villa, there's 12, 15 of us here. Okay, technically we're networking, but we're all enjoying ourselves because we're the right people, the right connections.
Doesn't feel forced
exactly
in any way.
No, and also that they are people that you enjoy being around. No one could possibly put themselves in this situation and go, "I hate networking." But should you be stuck at a BNI breakfast? With 20 people trying to give a forced lead to the local tradesman, or you might be at a conference with 1,000 people that you don't particularly want to talk to, and you're dishing out business cards with no focus and willy-nilly. I guess they're the times when people go, "I hate networking. I don't want to do it." I think the mistake that's made is that they're networking without focus. So, as we just talked about a minute ago, the two kinds of networking, the general networking, but in the right situations, and the focused networking of who you want to get in front of. And then I think, when you've decided who you want to get in front of, it's very important to really think about, what can you offer them to get them to take your call, for them to want to sit down in front of you.
I was just going to ask you, what questions should you ask yourself when going into that environment? So thank you.
Well, and it's something, when I was talking about it before, I'm conscious that I give this answer in as non-arrogant a way as possible. But, a lot of the time people are trying to network above their station. And let's put that into the context of, I don't know, let's give it a fitness analogy. If you're going to take me, little tubby me, if I want to go and run a marathon tomorrow, then I'm going to fail. I'm not marathon ready. You know, I need to do the 1 mile and the 3 miles and the 5 miles, and, you know, maybe get the diet right and some of the other bits around it. And the process of running the marathon almost is a marathon. You know, if you've never been in business, or you don't have great connections at the moment, and you want to start saying, well, I want to go and meet that billionaire, and I want, you know, and I want, you know, Duncan Bannatyne to come and sit down with me, or I want to get, you know, Simon Cowell to take my call. You've got to be realistic and think that either A, it's not going to happen, or B, what can you offer these people?
This is a very valuable share
to get them to take their call. And again, let's say, putting it into my own personal context, I get, you know, social media messages, LinkedIn messages, emails all the time, people saying, come for let me take you for lunch, let me have a call with you. And I say, I'm really conscious I don't answer this, you know, sounding like a dick or sounding arrogant, but I've got 7 lunches a week I can take, right? Yeah. And 7 dinners a week I'm going to take, and I'm going to take them with the people that I'm trying to network with, or with my mates, or with my daughter, or my family.
Guaranteed value.
Something that's guaranteed value for me, not necessarily financial value, but something I know I want to do.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, when some random person messages me and says, Matt, let me take you for lunch, like, I don't need to have lunch with you. You know, and if you want to get in front of me, just like if I want to get in front of someone that I want to get in front of, what are you going to offer me? And the fact that you're going to pay for my lunch is not really going to help me. And to put this into context, there's a I won't mention names, but there's a very well-known UK business person that I've been trying to get in front of recently. And, you know, understandably, he won't take my call, he won't take my introduction. But I found out he's a tennis fan and a big tennis player. And because of my connections into the tennis world, I've proposed to him through his PA a game of doubles with me against 2, you know, previous world champion tennis players. All of a sudden, he now wants to take my call. Now, and again, I'm conscious of the people watching this might be thinking, well, that's lovely, Matt, but it's completely unrealistic. You know, how am I ever going to you know, get 2 you know, Grand Slam champions to come and play tennis? But that's when it then comes back to
where you are,
back to being realistic. You know, and maybe if you're not able to do it, then that probably means at the stage in business you're at, you're not ready to be making those connections anyway. You know, so in the same way that I'm not ready to run a marathon tomorrow, or I'm not ready to bench press 300 pounds tomorrow, you know, baby steps, you know, get better connections, get better, you know, make your business better, make more money still. And I think it's you know, having that progression plan in place.
Man, I love so much what you've just shared. And first of all, what you just shared about networking at your level. And I love that you said, I want to sound, you know, I want to do this with humility, or get it across with humility without trying to sound arrogant. But it's so true. Jules and I sit at home, my wife and I sit at home, and sometimes I get messages from people and I'm just like, what are they thinking? Am I just sitting around at home doing nothing, waiting to network with someone? Like, you've got to be able to answer that question that Matt just asked, which is, how am I providing value for this person? And it might be value for you, but that doesn't mean it's value for them. So just saying, oh, you know, I'd like to buy you lunch, that doesn't necessarily mean it's value, because like Matt said, you only have 7 lunches in a week. Well, or normal people. Speaking of lunch, we've got to go to lunch. So I'd like to ask you 2 very quick questions. Number 1, how much time do you spend on your phone every day?
As in making calls, doing it?
Doing what we've just discussed.
Well, I'd say 70% of my day is spent on my phone. I mean, and 70% of my life is spent in some networking capacity. And I guess I made a joke the other week saying I would say I spend 70% of my time networking. Others may say I spend 70% of my time not working. And I think, you know, it's like we're in this situation now, and to many people they may look and say, well, Matt's not doing any work, he's just been sat by the pool in Ibiza for 2 weeks. Maybe it looks like that. I can tell
you that's not true.
But you know, I'm here with the people that I want to be here with, building the relationships I want to build, and anyone who's come to the villa, before they leave the villa, we will have worked something out together that is of mutual benefit, to hopefully add value to us both or make us both money.
Yeah.
So I spend a phenomenal amount of my time networking and maintaining relationships on the telephone.
Well, thanks for sharing that, man. I ask selfish questions sometimes, and I brought you into this conversation on this topic because you inspire me in this area. So thanks for that. And knowing that you do it 70% of the time is a great reminder for me, as I'm sure it's a great reminder for everyone watching. Go out there, make connections, build relationships, and provide value as much as you can, and connect with as many people as you can. Last question. On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how important is networking in business?
11. I mean, absolutely fundamental. All of my successes have come from a relationship that I've had with somebody that has either put me in front of an investor, or has been an investor, or has created a partnership, or even if we're just taking away the monetary side of things, my best experiences in life have only come because of my relationships with people, and those relationships come from networking in the first place. So creating relationships, building on those relationships, and getting ROI from them, whether that's in the financial or the emotional sense, is paramount to every aspect of life and business.
Relationships are everything.
100%.
There you go. You heard it from the man, Matt Haycox, dude. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Let's go grab some food.
Let's do it.
Cheers, guys.